The city never sleeps, but that night, even the rain seemed afraid. Engines idled under the bridge when a tiny voice broke through the thunder. A little girl, barefoot and shaking, ran into the circle of bikes. "Please. They're beating my mama." Every man froze. Then one engine roared, "Before we start this story, tell us where in the world you are watching from. Also, please subscribe to the channel. It will help us to bring you more inspiring stories every day." It was close to midnight in Eastbrook, a city that forgot its conscience. Beneath the old railway bridge, the Hells Angels gathered, leather, chrome, and silence broken by engines. Their leader, Damon Rex Callahan, was tightening a chain when headlights flashed through the rain. A shadow stumbled toward them. At first, they thought it was a drunk. Then they saw her no more than 8, soaked and trembling, barefoot on the slick asphalt. Her dress was torn, her lip bleeding. "Please," she gasped. "They're hurting my mama. Please help." The thunder swallowed her words, but her eyes didn't lie. Every biker went still. For a moment, even Rex's cigarette burned slower. No one spoke. No one moved. Then Rex dropped his wrench, his voice low. "Where?" Rex crouched to her level, his tattooed hands surprisingly gentle. "What's your name, sweetheart?" "Leela." Her voice was hoarse, afraid to exist. He nodded slowly. "Who's hurting your mom, Leela?" She hesitated. "A man. He comes every night. He says we don't belong there." Behind Rex, the men exchanged grim looks. The bridge lights flickered as a train thundered overhead. Rex looked at his crew: Brick, Sloan, Tex, and Maverick, each scarred from their own wars. They weren't saints, but none could walk away from a child begging in the rain. Rex stood, pulling his gloves tight. "All right, boys. Mount up." The engines growled awake, a wall of thunder rolling across the street. "Where's your home, Leela?" She pointed down the block toward a row of rundown apartments glowing dim under a flickering neon sign. Rex whispered, "Stay behind me." They rode slow, rain slicing through the headlights. Leela clung to Brick's jacket, tiny fingers gripping leather like a lifeline. Rex led the pack, eyes locked on the cracked tenement ahead. Each window looked tired, curtains drawn tight like the city had given up on itself. As they neared, a scream echoed from inside apartment to be. Rex didn't wait. He parked, climbed the stairs, and kicked open the door. The scene inside froze his blood. A man twice Leela's size stood over her mother, belt raised. She cowered on the floor, her arm shielding her face. The man turned, sneering. "Who the hell?" Rex's fist met his jaw mid-sentence. The man flew back, hitting the wall so hard the plaster cracked. Leela screamed, but Rex's voice was calm, almost cold. "You lay hands on her again, you'll be eating through a straw." The woman on the floor coughed weakly. Her name was Marianne, eyes swollen, wrist bruised, spirit barely holding on. "Ma!" Leela cried, crawling into her arms. Marianne sobbed, clutching her daughter like she was air itself. Rex knelt beside them. "You safe now? He won't touch you again." Marianne looked up, dazed. "Who are you people?" Rex almost smiled. "Just men who don't like bullies." The abuser, Carl Benson, a known loan shark, groaned from the floor, trying to stand. Brick stepped forward, boots heavy. "Stay down, hero." Tex yanked a belt from the floor, threw it at Carl's feet. "You ever think of picking that up again, you'll need a new hand." Rex turned to Leela. "You did good, kid. You saved her." Leela nodded, tears mixing with rain. For the first time that night, someone believed her. Outside, police sirens wailed in the distance. Rex knew they couldn't stay. The Angels had history with Eastbrook PD, most of it bad. He turned to Brick. "We make this quiet." Brick nodded. Two of the bikers dragged Carl outside, dumping him in the mud. Rex crouched beside him. "You like hurting women, huh?" he asked, voice almost kind. Carl spat. "You think you're the law." Rex leaned close. "No, the law forgot her. We didn't." He pressed a card into Carl's shirt pocket. "You ever come near them again, we'll finish what we started." Carl stared, fear finally overtaking arrogance. Rex stood, rain dripping off his leather. Behind him, the engines idled like growling beasts. They left him there soaked, beaten, but breathing. Back inside, Marian sat trembling by the window. Leela was wrapped in Rex's jacket, the leather almost swallowing her. "You got family?" Rex asked. She shook her head. "Just us." Tex returned with groceries from the nearby 24/7 store. "Figured you could use this." Marianne blinked. "Why? Why are you helping us?" Rex glanced out the window. "Because someone once helped me when I didn't deserve it." He handed her a small wad of bills. "This ain't charity. It's a restart." She hesitated, tears rising. "Thank you." Outside, the city glowed faintly gold under the breaking storm. Rex turned back once more. "You're safe tonight. Lock that door." Then he walked out, engines rumbling back to life. By morning, Eastbrook was talking. A child's scream, a biker gang, a beating. Rumors spread like wildfire. Some called them saviors. Others called them criminals. At the station, Officer Lane, a grizzled detective, lit a cigarette. "Hell's angels," he muttered. "They're ghosts until they want to be seen." But Leela's mother wouldn't stay quiet. She walked into the precinct herself, hand trembling but firm. "They saved me," she said simply. "No one else would have come." Lane watched her, measuring truth. He'd seen Rex before on both sides of the law. But this story didn't fit the usual pattern. He exhaled smoke slowly. Maybe Hell's got angels after all. That night, Rex sat alone in the garage, tuning his Harley. Brick approached quietly. "You think we did right?" Rex didn't look up. Right don't always look clean. He rolled his sleeve up, revealing an old scar across his forearm. "My old man was Carl Benson with a different name." Brick froze. "You never told us that." Rex shrugged. "Didn't need to. But that kid, she's the same age I was when my mother stopped screaming." Brick's jaw tightened. "That's why you couldn't walk away." Rex nodded once. "We don't change who we were, but we decide who we protect now." 2 days later, a black sedan crept into Eastbrook. Carl Benson stepped out, face bruised, rage burning in his eyes. He wasn't done. Inside, his coat metal glinted. Across town, Leela was playing by the window. Marianne was folding laundry, finally smiling. Outside, rain began again, soft but heavy, like warning drums. A shadow crossed the window. Marianne froze. Then glass shattered. Carl burst through the door, gun in hand. "Where are you, witch?" he yelled. Marianne screamed, pushing Leela behind the couch. Before he could take another step, the engines roared outside. The angels had returned. Rex kicked the door open, the frame cracking. Carl turned the gun toward him, but Rex didn't flinch. Brick lunged, slamming Carl into the wall. The gun clattered away. Rex grabbed Carl by the collar, slamming him down. "You didn't listen," he growled. Carl spat blood. "You're gonna pay." "Not today," Rex said, voice calm, almost mournful. Police sirens wailed again, but this time, Rex didn't run. Officer Lane was first through the door. He froze. Rex kneeling over Carl, gun on the floor, Leela crying in the corner. Lane raised a hand. "Step back, Rex." Rex obeyed, slowly. He came back. "You'll find the weapon." Carl groaned. "They're thugs." Marianne stood, voice shaking. "He tried to kill us. They saved us again." Lane's eyes softened. He holstered his weapon. "Then we'll let the court decide for once." He turned to Rex quietly. "You didn't have to stay." Rex shrugged. "Someone's gotta show the kid that good men don't run." Carl was taken away in cuffs, shouting threats that no one heard. Marianne and Leela stood by the door, watching the flashing lights fade. Rex handed Leela her jacket back. "You're tougher than most men I know," she smiled shyly. "Are you an angel?" Rex chuckled. "Some folks say the opposite, but you helped us," she said. "That's what angels do." He didn't answer. He just nodded and walked into the rain. Behind him, Brick muttered, "She ain't wrong, boss." By the end of the week, everyone had picked a side. Some said the angels were vigilantes. Others said they'd done what no one else dared. But for the first time, Eastbrook's forgotten corners felt a flicker of safety. The diner waitress left coffee on their tab. An old man fixed their sign for free. And when Leela passed the garage on her way to school, she waved and they waved back. Sometimes, that's all redemption needs. Officer Lane met a journalist outside the precinct. They say the angels are criminals, the reporter pushed. Lane exhaled. Maybe, but they stopped a murder. And that's more than most people did. He looked out the window at the skyline. Maybe the world ain't black and white anymore. Maybe it never was. That line went viral the next morning. Weeks later, Marianne knocked on the garage door. She held a small lunchbox. For you guys. Rex looked surprised. You didn't have to. I wanted to. You gave me my life back. Brick grinned. Guess we're eating homemade tonight. Marianne looked around the garage tools, bikes, grease, laughter. For the first time, it didn't scare her. It felt safe. That night, the angels gathered around a fire barrel behind the garage. Brick raised a bottle. To the women who fight, and the kids who believe, they all cheered softly. Rex stayed quiet, staring at the rain beginning again. Maverick asked, "You think the world'll ever see us for what we are?" Rex smiled faintly. "Maybe not. But she does." He nodded toward the apartment across the street, where Leela waved from her window. A few weeks later, Rex got a call from Lane. They're dropping the old charges. Seems the DA changed his mind. Rex chuckled. Guess good press works miracles. Lane paused. Don't make me regret it. Wouldn't dream of it, Rex said. As he hung up, Brick asked, "Free man again?" Rex grinned. Never was owned. One afternoon, a small envelope arrived at the garage. Inside was a crayon drawing Rex, Marianne, and Leela holding hands beside 3 motorcycles. At the top, in shaky handwriting, "My angels." Rex stared at it for a long time. Then he pinned it above the tool bench, next to the club's patch. No sermon, no speech, just quiet pride. Months later, the story became legend. People whispered about the night the angel saved a child. No one knew every detail, and Rex preferred it that way. He didn't need applause. He just needed to know that in one corner of a broken city, a little girl slept without fear. Sometimes, that's enough. The next morning, dawn spilled across the skyline. Engines roared awake, clean, strong, united. Rex put on his helmet, glanced once toward the apartment window, and saw Leela waving. He lifted 2 fingers in a silent salute. Then the pack rolled out, thunder fading into gold light. Not heroes, not criminals, just men who refused to look away. If this story touched your heart, hit like, subscribe, and press the bell icon, because sometimes the people the world fears most are the ones who still remember what it means to protect. Join us again for more stories that spark hope, loyalty, and humanity.